Listen, I know it's a new year. I'm gonna get a new YouTube intro, but for now, hi YouTube! Welcome to our first video of 2025. How did that happen? I have no idea. Also, this is my first YouTube video on my new camera that I got for Christmas, so I'm really excited. I still haven't figured out like the perfect settings and everything for filming, so if this is a little bit off than what we're used to, then just bear with me. I'm learning. I'm just a girl. But I am a digital camera girl now, so and obviously I've become the photo fairy. I told my boyfriend, because he got this for me, that he turned me into the photo fairy. So these are my fairy adventures thus far. Anyways, I want to know how you guys are. I want to know what your New Year's plans were. I want to know if you have any New Year's resolutions, if you're a New Year's resolution kind of person. I'm not really, honestly. I kind of think like if you're going to do something, just, you know, start doing it. But I do feel the same like, oh, it's a new year, let's start new habits type of thing. Now, if you're wondering what I'm opening up, it's an Amazon box with the point of today's video in it. I was on Amazon, as I normally am, scrolling through like beauty stuff, and I was like, what would happen if I look up every step in my makeup process and just buy the first thing that comes up? And so I did, and we're gonna be doing a full face of that makeup today. A couple of things I already owned, but I had to buy a lot of them as well. I also had to shade match online, so we're gonna see how that goes. But yeah, I'm very excited. I'm very excited about this year. I need more like video ideas. I'm gonna be traveling this year, so there's gonna be some travel vlogs in here, some makeup stuff, some lifestyle stuff. I might start posting some workout gym stuff as well. I don't know if I'll feel that frisky. But yeah, I'm very excited. So without further ado, let's get into today's video. I put everything into a list. See? Amazon YouTube video, okay? If we go into Amazon and we look up primer, the first one, for me at least, that comes up is the e.l.f. Power Grip, the niacinamide one. And obviously I had that on hand because I've gone through like 4 or 5 of them by now and it's my favorite. Look at her, so beautiful. I do want, oh, I did get a new one actually. I did, see? Always have a new one on hand because you never know with these things. I should probably clip my hair back. Hold on. Do some pink clips today to match the shirt. Gorgina. Oh my god, I just realized the camera has like a little red light like right there to show that it's filming. I also have like the viewfinder flipped out. So if I keep looking to the side, I'm looking at the viewfinder because I haven't learned how to focus on just the camera yet, okay? I don't think I'm ever gonna get used to how my skin looks after applying this primer. Okay, next up I usually do my brows. I kind of do my brows first, to be honest, but if I look up brow pen, the first one that comes up on my Amazon is the Maybelline Brow. Actually, that's a lie. The first one that comes up is the NYX, but they didn't have my shade, so I had to get the Maybelline one, which I also conveniently have on hand. Little disclaimer though, I used to use this shade. Okay, so I did this as a brand deal in 2024, which is so fun because I think that was my first time working with Maybelline. It won't be my last. I think that was my first time working with Maybelline, and I actually absolutely loved this so much that I had to ask them for like 3 more, and now I have my own. But also, since I worked with them earlier this year, that means I still had my dark hair. So this is like a very dark color that probably won't go with the red, but we're gonna rally. I mean, the brows are there. I could very well set with the gel side of that brow product, but I figured why not get a new brow gel while I need one. So when I looked up brow gel on Amazon, the one that came up, oh, hold on, I forgot to talk about prices. The e.l.f. primer is $11.97 and the Maybelline brow pen is $13.96. The next product I'm gonna be using is the L'Oreal Brow Lamination, which is $14.48. Conveniently, I already love this one. I already know that it works, so I was very excited to have to get that one. Here she is in all of her glory, because I will not lie, mine was quite running out. That primer is so sticky that every time I like open my eyes, my eyelids are sticking together, like sticking on top of each other. That's the only downside, is that like if you don't put your makeup on immediately after putting on the primer, your skin just feels sticky. Next up we have concealer. Now this I think was the cheapest thing on the list. Let me find it. This is the Wet n Wild Photo Focus Concealer. And it was $5.99, $6, and okay. So Wet n Wild was the first makeup brand I ever ordered from when I was old enough to actually look for makeup on my own on the internet. And I bought their Photo Focus concealer and foundation, and I used that religiously for like 3 years, and I would only do it when I'm like posting makeup looks, and I used to take the wand like this and carve out under my brows like with no brush, just straight going in with the wand. It was a little bit feral, but point is that this concealer is like very nostalgic for me. And I'm only taking it out now because I want to carve out under my brows, and then we'll go in with the foundation, which I think is the wrong shade, but we're gonna make it work because we have bronzer. Also, I'm looking at the list now on my phone and nothing, absolutely nothing even hit the $15 mark. Is this a full face of affordable drugstore Amazon makeup? Probably. Oh God, that's so light. Listen, Online shade matching is not my forte, all right? I don't think it's anybody's forte, and that's okay. This is hardcore a Caucasian concealer. Okay. You know what though? It'll be good for underpainting. I remember that this like formula was so good, and I remember watching, like, I don't know if anyone else watched Laura Lee, but I watch her all the time, and I remember seeing her do like a full face of Wet n Wild, and I got so excited to see her do that because I'm like, oh my god, I own Wet n Wild, and like this is one I could actually follow and like go along with. And she loved this concealer, and for some reason I felt so happy about that. I was like, oh, a win for the drugstore girlies, as if I was the one who created the freaking brand. Ridiculous. I was like 14, 12. I was 12 or 14. I mean, she brightens. Next up we have Miss Tried and True Maybelline Fit Me Foundation. They have new packaging now, which is, it's kind of slight. I like the old one, but this one's kind of slight. The price on this one is $9.96. Mind you, these are all Canadian prices, so if you're in the US, congratulations, you get it cheaper. I remember everybody's tea with this foundation was that it didn't have a pump and you needed a pump, but I heard on TikTok that like foundations that are like this, you're supposed to put your finger over top and go like this, and that's the amount that you're supposed to be using. Don't look at me because I use like 4 times this amount, but the more you know. You know what? We're gonna make it work. Who cares? Wow, I forgot how nice it is going back to like the basics. I never actually bought that foundation for myself when I was younger. My mom bought it because she asked me, because I was like the all knowledgeable 13-year-old about makeup, which I don't know why people trusted that, but she asked me what foundations were good, and I was like, oh, well, I know the Maybelline Fit Me one. Like, it was matte and poreless. Everyone was obsessed with the matte and poreless. And so I told them like, oh, I'm hearing a lot of stuff about that. And so I went with her to Shoppers to get it, and we got it in the shade Coconut. Oh my God, yeah, it was Coconut. That, and then she got the pressed powder in Coconut. And I was like, oh, this is gonna look so great on you. We get home, the shade is like 3 shades too dark. And so she ended up giving it to me. And I was like, oh no, it's not exactly what I wanted to happen the entire time. So I ended up with Miss Maybelline Matte and Poreless, and I loved it so much, and I forgot how beautiful this foundation was. My New Year's resolution is to start actually putting makeup on my forehead. I'm one of those girls like, no, my forehead doesn't need any. It does, but for some reason I neglect it. So we're not neglecting the foreheads in 2025. They need love. Okay, next we dabble in a little bit of self-sabotage by Online Shade Rages and do the concealer. I don't know how I like functioned with this concealer because it picks up so little product on the wand that like, oh wait, hold on, I might be mistaken. I just remember that Laura Lee video I was talking about, she was like, oh yeah, this reminds me of like the NARS Creamy Radiant Concealer. And that at the time, that was like 2015, 2016 was all the hype. That and like pot concealers, NARS had their pot concealer, MAC had their pot concealer, that and Tarte Shape Tape, okay? Those were like the big ones. And she compared this to the NARS one, so I was like, oh my God, it must be so good. And I feel like I remember it being that good. I'm definitely putting on way too much, hold on. Okay, oh, the price of this one, did I say that already? Yeah, this one was $6, so if this works out, you've got a really good, oh my lordy lord. Oh, I fear she was right and the coverage is, for a $6 concealer, this simply cannot be. Mind you, I still probably have a shade that's too light, but if I got my correct shade in this, oh my God, I would not put it down. Excuse me. Wow, look how pretty that is on my chin. Okay, in the camera, I look a little bit ghosty, but like in the mirror, it's looking good. Okay, before we get into setting anything, let's get into more face products. We have, you look up bronzer. For me, this is the first one that came up. This is the e.l.f. Putty Bronzer, and believe it or not, I've actually never tried this one. I did have to scroll a little bit to like find my shade because it was the first one that came up, but for some reason, that posting only had like 3 shades. This one is in Bronzed Belle. Honestly, you're gonna see that e.l.f. was kind of like killing it in the second half. They were coming up a lot now that I'm looking at what's in front of me. This is the shade we're working with. Honestly, looks quite promising. And this is the e.l.f. Powder Blurring Brush. I feel like I call this my everything brush because I really do use it for everything. I'm gonna ruin it with the end of a brush so that I don't get any on my nail. Ooh, looks like dookie. dab my brush in there. If I'm being honest though, I really haven't heard much about this bronzer either. Like, or maybe there were tons of reviews and I just missed them, but I didn't hear much about it. That's a good color. That looks a little crazy right now, but just bear with me. It's a bronzer, it's not contour. We don't have to be like too exact with it. Hold on. You see how fast that blended? Miss Elf. Okay, like we knew Elf always has killed it with the makeup game, especially recently in like the past 3 years. And I have predictions, okay? I feel like they're coming for the loose powder game this year because I thought they were going to last year. I'm gonna use one of their loose powders today. I know they have like the Halo Glow one. That was not my favorite. I feel like it just looked like mica under my eyes and accentuated all the texture that I had that I did not want showing. But I feel like they're gonna come for the loose powder game like a Maybelline Fit Me or like a Huda Beauty moment. I feel that's gonna be duped very aggressively this year. Listen, I also feel this bronzer is quite gorgeous. I'm looking in, I have a mirror here and then I have my little handheld. Bronzer, so tea, so tea. $8.97, under 10 bucks. I feel like everything is such a win so far. The only thing I'm like nervous about is I know I used to love the powder when I was younger. It's the e.l.f. one. I don't know if I'm gonna love it now because I've tried other powders and see what like they've done, but we're gonna see. We're gonna see. Okay, next in our lineup when I looked up blush was the e.l.f. blush wand because obviously e.l.f. is like running the world right now. It is $10.17 and I didn't buy it only because I already have one at home that I was loving, loving, loving. Maybe last year or like a year and a half ago, and I used it every single day, which is why it's like a little skinny mini now. Then I just stopped using it for some reason. I don't know if like something happened and I stopped liking it. I can't imagine that was the case, but do it on my finger. I might have to add more concealer after this because of how intense the blush is gonna be. I remember it being very pigmented and just very pretty, honestly. Like it was a good dupe for the Charlotte Tilbury ones because I would never buy the Charlotte Tilbury ones because they were so expensive, and I'm like, why would I buy it if e.l.f. already has a dupe, you know? I have to adjust like the quality and lighting of my camera settings. I'm gonna have to figure that out at a later date because I know I love filming on my phone, but the convenience of filming on a camera and like for editing purposes and just having everything for YouTube on the camera is so nice, and I actually want to figure out how to do it because I know that people do it. Delicious. Okay, moving on. Powder, I told you this already. It's the e.l.f. HD powder. It blurs fine lines and pores. I remember doing exactly that, to be honest. It is, how much is it? $7.97. That's why I loved it so much. It was like so affordable, and I would get it at Walmart because they always had it in stock at Walmart. And you know what I would use this the most for is when I used to do those like really crazy fun looks, because this would set any like colored products really easily without dragging anything around, and I could just like powder puff it all over my face. Ooh, so satisfying. Oh, crap. I mean, this is kind of convenient, like the whole like sliding mechanism type thing, because you could just shake the, whoop, never mind. Oh my God, my pants. Got like spots of powder. Now press it under my eyes. Oh goodness, I might be wrong about the flashback. This is giving a little bit ghosty, a little bit Casper the Ghost. But I mean, in terms of blurring, immaculate. I just remember the only downside is like now my skin looks so dry. Okay, since my skin looks like the freaking Sahara Desert, I looked up setting spray on Amazon, and this NYX one is the first one that came up. So got her right here. Gonna try and bring some life back into my face. Oh my God, that feels like literally spraying your face with a hose. It's a lot more that came out than I thought it would. Fan dry. Always fan your setting spray dry until like the very, very last seconds where there's like 2 little spots left on your face. Then you could tap it with a big sponge. Don't use a brush, use a big sponge. Okay, this was like a first impressions of that setting spray because I've never actually used it before. To be honest, not my favorite. And I feel like it came out so much that like, it's almost, oh yeah, it is. It's like disrupting my makeup over here. I don't think you could see it very well on camera, but like it is. It's like messing with my layers. It's supposed to, it says plump finish. I don't know what that means. It can't really plump your face. Okay, moving on. We've got eyes and lips left. I have a mascara, I have lashes, and I have a lip liner. The mascara I got when I first looked it up, obviously, is the L'Oreal Telescopic because it is the best drugstore mascara. My eyelash curler, unfortunately, is not from Amazon because I didn't need one. This is from the Dollar Tree. I got this for $1.25 like 3 years ago. Ow! So in case you don't know about this mascara, I got the Carbon Black. It says up to 70% longer lashes, intense length, up to 24-hour wear, precision brush. It's got all these claims, okay? Because it's a very wet mascara, the key is like to go slow and work in layers. So that is gonna be like my first coat. I'm gonna let it dry and then I'm gonna come back. And on my lower lashes, it's so Gorgina. Oh, now seeing that like the concealer is creasing a little bit. Honestly, I put on a lot more than I normally would, so that could be it. I don't want to say it's the actual concealer doing that because I know I used to love it and it never really gave me creasing problems, but that was like 8 years ago, so I definitely have more lines under my eyes than I did then. Oh my god, that was 8 years ago? That's foul. Okay, mascara done. Let's go on to lashes. I got fake lashes. So when you look it up, it's either like the individuals that come up, and I already have those. So I want to try something new by getting like a new set of falsies. This was the next best thing. These lashes, it has 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10 of the exact same style. That's what they look like, and it retails for $11.58. Again, under the $15 mark. I'm kind of like on a roll with this budget thing. Gonna have to like trim, you know those little things at the ends of the lashes? They're just a little bit annoying because they'll poke you in the eye. Okay, I'm back. Lashes are done. I don't know if I love them. I feel like they look a little bit more like straight cut on my eyes than they actually do in the package. They look and feel like plastic. You know what I mean? Like the plastic lashes that almost feel like straw. It's just not the best vibe for me right now. Okay, our last step is lips. I have the, Rimmel London Lasting Finish Lip Liner. This is in the shade 580 Bitten Red. I think this was the only one that wouldn't show up super dark on me, so I got it. Let's go ahead with the lip liner. This was, how much was it? Oh, here we go. This was $5.98. Kind of, if this works, that's a really good price. When I chose this shade, I was going for like a very Christmassy type vibe because it looks like it's gonna be very bright red. Okay. Make it look like we have lip filler. I think it says the X's. I don't know. This is making me look like I don't know how to do makeup. Feels kind of smooth. It feels like the MAC one, and where like it won't really move. It's a little bit stiff when you put it on, but it goes on smoothly. You know what I mean? I'm gonna take this Maybelline lip vinyl. This is in 120 Punchy. This is like my favorite nude one. Hopefully kind of blending in some of those lines so I don't look insane. This is actually looking quite slay. I've been getting into more of like the reddy pink lips instead of nudes because I always do nudes, and I feel like with the red hair I need to look a little bit more bright, a little bit more fun. I feel that doesn't look too crazy. I almost don't want to put this setting spray back on again because I put on enough to feed an entire nation, and if I do more I think it's just gonna mess with my makeup. So honestly, that's all that I got. I'm like looking in my mirror here and the lip liner turned out so much more beautiful than I thought it would. It's actually such a nice shade of red. Let me say this before I forget. I'm gonna put my Instagram and my TikTok on the screen. I know TikTok is like going through some mood swings right now and it doesn't really know if it wants to keep showing up after January 19th, but we're just gonna cross our fingers, say a million prayers, throw coins and wells, and do everything we can so that it doesn't go away because I love TikTok, okay? And I want to be friends with you guys all over there as well. But anyways, thank you for joining me. This is my first YouTube of 2025. You're gonna see me a lot more on YouTube on 2025. Please, fingers crossed, because I need to stay consistent on here. I wanna build a platform on here. And I love doing these like longer videos where I just get to yap, because that's all I love to do. Thank you guys so much for watching. I hope to see you on my Instagram and my TikTok, and I will see you back on YouTube very, very soon. Love you.